Hello everyone, welcome to another video in the series Everything You Need to Know About the Immortal. Today we will be looking into Margaret, the first Queen of Denmark. I'm really excited to do this video because I've been working on her passively over the past couple of months, trying to get her fragments slowly, and I eventually managed to max her out, and I have been really excited and curious about her in the water march. I want to see what kind of difference she makes compared to Merlin, and in this video I hope to find out. And like always, before we start going into the in-game stuff, we have to talk about her background a little bit. Margaret the First is of Denmark, was a powerful medieval queen who united Denmark, Norway, and Sweden under her rule, creating the Kalmar Union in 1397. Daughter of King Valdemar the Fourth of Denmark, she initially ruled through her marriage to King Håkon the Sixth and of Norway, and after his death, skillfully managed to secure power over Denmark and Norway. So yeah, now that we know a little bit about Margaret, if you want to know more, of course you can go to YouTube and listen to her story. Very interesting. I am currently living in Norway, so I know a little bit about her and her background. So this is very interesting for me that we have a Norwegian character in this game. Now that we are in the game, how to get Margaret? We can get Margaret fragments via Summoning Hall, Harbor, random immortal fragments from Harbor and Golden Path. And I think the easiest way to get her nowadays, and if you want to max her out, is definitely going for lucky spin route. You have to use gems to do the wheel that you can see on the screen. And if you have money, you want to spend some money, you can always use the money to buy Cultivate Immortals pack in the shop, which is okay decently if you want to spend gems as well. And of course, as always, you need 60 fragments to unlock her, and then you need 960 fragments to complete her. Now let's take a look at Margaret's stat and ultimate skill. Her stats is actually pretty decent. That's why I'm really curious about her. And as you can see here, I think the reason why you see this kind of stats is because I have maxed out her level. I think I had her boost level 25 or 20. I can't remember exactly, but you can see here the one thing that stands out for me is definitely the physical attack with the high crit rate, which is unusual for a water team. And the one thing that makes me, kind of curious is because of energy regen. I think she is very similar to Sendok of Fire March, just different version, and I think she's gonna be doing quite well in a fire, like fire with support, in a water with a support that shields. In terms of shield, you have Dido and Artemisia. Artemisia is new, and I think she is one to go for. And now let's take a look at her ultimate, Winter's Passage. Deals physical damage to all enemies. Damage rate 500%, which is crazy. To be honest, 500% is a lot. If the target is affected by shield, the skill will deal additional physical damage rate 300%. So if the enemies have shield, you can deal up to 800%, which is crazy damage by the numbers at least. And if target is affected by silence, this physical damage they deal is reduced by 20% for 6 seconds. The best thing about her that you can actually deal, do the debuff as well, 20% reducing damage, physical damage is crazy in my opinion. I mean, she can already potentially deal up to 800, and then you have debuff up to 20%, which is crazy. But in theory, she looks really, really good. However, as you guys probably know by now, I've played for a while, it doesn't matter if she looks good on like the stats and stuff. It doesn't correlate with how the immortal gonna perform in real life, right? So I'm really excited to try her out, and let's go take a look at her skills so we can see how it works. As you can see, we are now back in the training ground, and I'm just adjusting a little bit of the enemy march so we can take a look and highlight the ultimate of Margaret. As you can see here, I have full water march to support Margaret. I have picked Attila, I have picked Harold and Artemisia to support Margaret because that's how I would run this team. Maybe with Ramses, but I think this setup is the best one for the team. You see here, her ultimate just popping off right now, and you can see all the winters, like the blue mark on the enemy territory there, or place. You see her ultimate, and there we go again. And to me, it looks pretty good. It looks decent. I don't know if it's better than Merlin, but if you like physical marches in general, I think Margaret is way to go. Let's take a look at the damage charge. I think it looks pretty decent. Winter's Passage dealing decent damage, and the additional damage, okay, not too bad. Of course they're gonna be better because they have like Attila maxed out level and everything like that, and yeah, it looks fine. But let's take a look again to try to showcase and highlight her even better. Then I will do this and remove one of the frontliners so we can sustain a little bit longer, and let's see if we can showcase her a little bit better this time. You can see from early here, her energy regen is not that great, but it's pretty normal, I guess. I mean, I would assume this is the same as Merlin. You can see here, Winter's Passage is doing some damage, and I think it's quite good. And the target is shield right now from Artemisia, which is, there we go. That was quite good, pretty strong skill. Yeah, I think the skill wise, it looks pretty good. I would definitely try her out in a full water team in the future, and come back to it again when I have maxed out Artemisia, and then I make a video about this comp together. But as for Margaret, I think she has potential if we can build around her. Now let's take a look at Margaret's artifacts. In this kind of artifact, I do wonder what kind of artifact you need for Margaret, because the passive is just like the duration of Winter's Passage. Physical damage decrease effect to enemies is increased to 9 seconds. Basically from 6 seconds to 9 seconds. I don't know if that is really good, because I mean, it's just adding 3 seconds. I don't know if that really needed, but if you take a look at the passive, you have Annihilation and Iron Fist, or the red one being physical damage raw, and then the yellow one being the crit one. I would probably run the red one more in this game, because I'm not 100% sure if a water will be able to crit that much. But I'm saying, but from what I saw earlier with the stats, I think if you have the chance to get the crit one and play Margaret and the water team around the crit, you should definitely try it out, because if the target hits or if the ultimate hits and you have additional damage, you suddenly have like a really huge damage potential with Margaret. So now let's take a look at the skill here. I set up some free-to-play skills that I think fits the best for her. These, in my opinion, are the best. Of course, you have skills like you've run for a long time Sniper, but I don't think Sniper really fit Margaret at all, because your goal is to proc her ultimate as often as you can, and I think Fighting Master and Adrenaline Rush really works out for Margaret. And then if you want to have extra damage, you have Anger, but if you want to have like a skill damage, you can have Death Breath, which is pretty good as well. As for free to play or pay to win skill, Beatrice or Wisdom now, you have Executioner, Blade Vortex combo, really good. And then you have Chaos Storm, can be really good if you mix the if you play Margaret and Merlin together. But that is situational, and of course you have Corrosive Power. I think that is very good skill on every backliner, especially the damage dealers. And then you have Time to Shine. This skill I'm really excited to see. I really want to get this one because I know that this skill is gonna make a difference for every physical backliner. Due to a minor bug in this game currently, so I could not show you guys some reports, so I'm just gonna talk it about here in the training camp. In my opinion, if you want to try and get Margaret, I think you need to be aware that you have to try and get Artemisia as well. If not, I think Margaret will fall off because of her, you won't get the additional 300 damage, 300% damage, and the 500%, it seems a lot, but nowadays there are many tanks that defend against physical attack very well, and I think it's really difficult for immortal like Margaret to do some damage against them, especially the Earth, which is the element counter as well, and a lot of people are running the Earth team, so stuff can become difficult for the water main. In my opinion, if you want to run something or run a team like this, I think a good way to go is definitely try to make it as your third or fourth team. Try something out, like a team that you can try out some new stuff. I think that it would be interesting because water team actually do really well against the teams like lightning and of course fire for being element counter, but it's doing pretty good against a lot of stuff. But here's another twist that I want to show you guys that I think a lot of people should be running if you don't have Artemisia, is Theodora. If you can get Theodora in here, I think you are very well off, especially when it comes to fighting every element except Earth, because Theodora is here to expel the continuous damage in the Blade Vortex skill and stuff like that, because I think since water do not have any healers in general, except the dragon, but I mean like support immortal and stuff like that, it become very weak, again, a sustain March, hybrid March, wind March, and this kind of stuff, because the healing of the water dragon can be, you know, really bad, especially when you meet like the Keen Emperor, when you meet Genghis Khan, and this kind of stuff, because they cancel the heal of the dragon, so the dragon become a little bit useless. So in my opinion, if you want to run the water team as your main, I think you have to mix with something. Maybe instead of Harold, you go for Björn from the Shadow team, or you go for Buffet from Chaos. Basically mix it out, because a pure element water, I don't think that is really good anymore. But it can work if you manage to put all the 3 skills, like pay to win skills, into the team, mix it up with maybe Theodora, mix it up with, if you don't have Theodora, you can go with Artemisia, like normal full water, and then just rather switch up the front liner, maybe switch out Harold for Bjorn, like I said earlier, or for maybe Athena to help sustain the team and get the water buff as well. That could work, but then now we are in another pay grade, and I don't think people are fancy it really much. So yeah, that's it about the water march. I know I came a little bit short, but there are currently some bug in game. As you can see here, I'm trying to press the reports, but I cannot show you guys. So yeah, basically for last conclusion, a last opinion about Margaret, I think she is pretty good in Mothole. I think she can replace Merlin anytime. And if you want something new, you want something else to work, I think Margaret can do well. She seems to have a lot of damage. She seems to have good skill as well. And the only downside compared to Merlin is she is more difficult to get. Her artifact is not available, like easily available to everyone. So it can be a struggle to get her artifact. So that's why I think a lot of people tend to turn away from her. But if she were, like, her artifact and stuff were easy to get, I think she will be really, really popular among the water users. But like I said, you need to pair her up with Artemisia, which is, in my opinion, is the best water support at the moment. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really like Margaret. I will be exploring and put her potential in the next couple of weeks, a couple of months. Once I manage to max out Artemisia, it will be something I would like to run as my 3rd or 4th March, maybe even instead of fire, depending on the skill. Really interested in Immortal. Thanks you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.